Yeah, we back. What was Tyler one say? We are is be back. We is do be back. Good job on the last one. I want to do one more and then I want to just disconnect for a little bit. I have to leave in an hour though. Tough. Problem challenge 1. I don't know what that means, and I've never looked at this problem before in my life. Okay. So, permutation in a string. Hard. Given a string and a pattern, find out if the string contains any permutations of the pattern. Also interesting. Okay, there's a little markdown. It's a hard problem right away. Why? It's, I guess, problem challenge 1. Oh, it's called permutation in a string. Permutation in a string, and the problem statement is what? Given a string and a pattern, rearrange the characters in the string, which have a label. Okay. This looks... Wait, what? I don't want that double pasted. Why did those notifications come through? Anyway, let us... I'm gonna leave it unbolded because I'm cool like that. I'm gonna just start creating these code chunks early, because I want to just think about the problem and do pattern. So the point is to return output, which is a Boolean. We can type in everything if you want. All right, let's take a look. Given a string, the point is to what? Hold on. Given a string and a pattern, find out if the string contains any permutation of the pattern. Oh. Move my lunch bag so I can actually write this down. Okay, so for example, permutation is defined as rearranging the characters of a string. For example, ABC can be arranged. Okay, I have 6 different ways. Cool. Output, or no, example, input, string, pattern. So O, I, D, B, C, A, F. And the pattern being A, B, C. So we're trying to determine if the string contains any permutation of the pattern. So what, in this order? So technically, okay, if I just by looking at this first example, the BCA is valid. So you should return true. Okay. So since this is a sliding window problem, we're gonna follow some pattern here. And let me even finish setting up my testing framework. Let's do one of these. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm saying nothing, but we need the first string, the pattern, and the expected output. Throw our test in here. Then we'll give it one of these, and I'll just say test find permutation This returns none, just runs. We'll assert that find permutation given a string and a pattern. I guess I can say S equals S. This is pattern. I guess so. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that. I'll type everything. It's a Boolean. Okay. All right. Let us create some tests. So we've got this string. With a pattern of ABC, and it should return true. Okay. We've also got, they have mad examples too, it's kind of cool. DC, and that should be false because there is no. So a permutation is like those characters in any order, but I guess congruent, not congruent, contiguous. That makes sense. See, I can't just see a B, an A, and a C. I have to actually see some combination of those three letters together. Okay, so we have failing tests. Let's take a look at how we're gonna do this. Okay, so I would have to create some window, and we start at O, I guess. I guess we already, okay, so let's talk about the problem out loud, right? We're looking for some combination of A, B, and C, right? So as we scan over this string, we don't really care about the other letters besides the one that are in the permutation, that are in the pattern. So as I'm looking over the first string of O, I, D, B, C, A, F, all I really care about is this an A, B, or C? Is this in A, B, or C? Is this in A, B, or C? Okay, cool. So with B, that is in A, B, and C. So the next character that we add to our, I guess, window. My phone is blowing up right now. More work drama. This is the most entertaining shit in my life. She's like, tell him to come, Arlo's coming, and is only willing to come. Okay. Yo. Bro, stop trying to force your boyfriends to come to these events. Sorry, I'm in the middle of work and I'm texting. I don't understand why they have to. That wasn't a joke, but it's a joke. Like, you guys really need to stop forcing boyfriends to come to events that they don't want to come to. And the reality is, I love supporting her. At the same time, if I don't need to be there, I don't want to be there. If I can support you from a distance, I will. But if you need me there, of course, without question, I'll be there. I just don't understand why you need to coerce everyone to come. It's like, I don't want to come. I feel some strong resentment. Resentment? Is that the word you want to use, babe? Anyway, I need to get this out. If I don't get this out of the way, I'm literally going to be distracted the whole time. I got to pause this recording. Hold on. She said you'll have to commit to. I have to commit to coming to. Oh. Yeah, I have to commit to coming to events like this. I said, oh, that's what you're asking of me. I don't want to do that. Am I willing to do it? Yes. Do I want to do it? No. But no, she's right. It makes my stomach. I think it's a social thing. I just don't like people. Let me let that one cook for a little bit. Let me get this problem out of the way, and we'll come back to it. Okay. Um. Yeah, I'd really prefer not to go, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to go. I think it's just the whole like I don't. It's the initial. When I'm there, it's fine, which means it's probably my. It's probably what's it called? An intrusive thought. It's not my gut. My gut when I'm there. And this is great because this archives channel is more than just about coding. It's about lifestyle. It's about health. It's about money. It's about career. The reality is, I'm in this book. I don't know where it is. Here it is. The Mountain is You. In this book, they talk about how your instincts, gut reactions that you should listen to, they're never loud. They're never loud. They're never and they never. They can only happen in the moment. In the moment, I never feel bad about being at those events. In the moment, it's perfectly fine. When I think about going ahead of time, I'm just like, ugh. And why? Because I just project all kinds of negative shit on it. I'm like, oh, it's going to be boring, or, it's not going to help our relationship, or, I'm not going to get anything from this. And it's like, I can't go into it with that mentality. I can't go in with the agenda that I'm going to get something from it. So I have to be thinking, what am I giving to this? What do I have to offer? If I have to offer is support, then fine, that's fine. I'm perfectly fine to offer support. I think back then it was just like, ugh, social events. I have to actually like smile and look at people and talk, and it's just like gross. But 100%, I'm down to support her. I just need to understand that it's going to be common for us to go to these things. I think my only like concern at this moment is I think I'll have to say I'm 100% willing to go to any event you need me at, so long as it doesn't impact my career or my health. Like, as long as the impact to me is okay, I will 100% commit to going. Okay, unless there's something really at stake here, like, oh, I have a meeting that's going to launch my career. If that's not happening, I want to just negotiate now. There is absolutely zero chance that I would ever skip out on these. I'll just say that now because I don't want this to hang. Well, I shouldn't say that because that's in a marriage, right? You would, if I had to sacrifice something for you, that's what a marriage is. But I guess I guess I'll say if it has no impact on my health, then I think it's okay. I don't like the way she worded this. I don't like the way she worded this. I think it sounds more like I don't know. I think I'm saying it because I feel like, oh, there's a woman out there who wouldn't ask me to go. That's not even like the point. The point is, I shouldn't. We as people cannot make up perfect people in our heads and then compare our partner to that perfect person. Right? Because if I just say it out loud, the perfect partner doesn't make me go to events I'm uncomfortable with, right? But that's not the point here. The point is, can I be the perfect partner? Can I be the person who's willing to give up that time, and sacrifice that energy for our relationship? I said, as long as it builds up our relationship, I'm more than happy to go. If I'm available and it builds us up, I will go. I'll say, and it sets us up. What I'll really say is, as long as I'm available and it doesn't, All right, so I'm happy to go with you. It just can't. Yeah, these events cannot get in the way of our goals. That's just best. That's basically it. I can't allow that time to be spent at the senator's house if it doesn't directly impact us. I say direct. I don't mean I'm not looking for a check, or money. I'm looking more for either a chance to learn or the chance to get more chances to learn. If that makes sense. So I'm not looking for a check or like a job offer, but I'm looking if this meeting might set me up in the future to get, what I'm saying? Like that found so even if it's indirect, that's cool. I just don't necessarily care about. No, look right now. That's fine. I don't care about like. Yeah, I think that's fine. If I'm available and it helps us as a I want to say couple, but as a partnership, it helps to grow. That's fine. Yeah, I'm definitely fine. I'm definitely down to go. I think the only problem is socially, I get this anxiety before I go. Like anybody else, that's like nerve wracking. But they used to never happen growing up. I don't know what happened as an adult that started happening, but crazy. Yeah, that's it. I'm done with that. 3:45. Let's take a look. So this is a sliding window thing. The reality is we only care about a window. I don't know. But we have a pointer starting to 0. I say 0. O. O is not in our pattern, so we don't really care to check this. So as we're scanning each letter, we only care about beginning a window where there is. So let's say we scan this. So our first piece of code says, okay, is O in our pattern, right? If it's not in the pattern, then what do we do? Do we keep assigning the start to the end, or I don't understand? I mean, there's one if check that says, okay, if, I'll say let not in pattern, then start gets end, right? If it is in the pattern, then our start gets this index. That's terrible. Yeah, our start would need to be set, and then we can't move the start. Interesting. I don't know. This is an interesting problem. Yeah, interesting problem. Yeah, but let's walk through it, right? So, okay. So I might say, okay, in English terms, I might say, okay, if the current letter is, not in the pattern, skip. We don't care about this letter. If the current letter is in the pattern, we care about this, right? Let's park here and see what else we can get. So I would say, okay, if B is in the pattern, then I would hope that C and A are in some order in the pattern, correct? So I might say, cool, since B is in the pattern, I might say while, what do I say? I'm saying while because you'd want to, for each letter in the string that is a part of the pattern, there's a potential for the rest of that pattern to exist. Now, technically speaking, if you hit the C at the end of the list, there's no way. But we don't really care about checking for that. The loop itself will handle that. So the point is to say, okay, cool. If current letter, or I guess while current, I say while current letter, but I really should say is while next letter in pattern. So I guess you can say like while the next letter is in the pattern and so while the next letter is in the pattern and our index that we're tracking with is less than the length, I guess, continue to go on. The minute that we hit a couple conditions, right? The minute that this, is not here, exit. Now we're not done with the loop. We have to look at each letter, technically speaking. Well, the loop only has to go as far as the pattern. Does that make sense? So for example, the pattern has to be somewhere between in the string. So what does that mean? That means that out of O, I, D, B, C, A, F, C, B, and A can be the last letter, can replace F. Right? Any one of the ones in the pattern can replace it, which means that you have to find the other two right before it. So in terms of looping, yes, if we hit, the some index, as long as we hit some index, I guess we'll be okay. But this is not even that important, but just a trick that I'm trying to figure out. Anyway, so I'd probably say, okay, while the next letter, in pattern, while the next one's in the pattern, and our, I guess, pointer is less than the length of pattern, continue to, I guess, walk that potential path. And then as soon as we exit that loop, right, for whatever reason, we then just check, okay, is that pointer, right? Okay, let's do that, right? So let's say we create some pointer P starting at 0, and pointer will walk the pattern itself. So we'll say, okay, so we hit B, and we say while next letter in pattern and P less than, right? So what's next letter? So we have this letter and the next letter. So next letter has to be seen outside the loop, right? So I guess next letter gets our current index plus 1 out of the string. And we say, well, next letter, okay, cool. Then in the loop, we'd have to update next and update the pointer. So next now points to what? Next gets what? So P currently points to 0, which is in the pattern. So we'd say next gets, no, this is dumb, hold on. Well, in English terms, we'd want to just check that the next however many letters are in the pattern, right? We'd want to check that the next however many letters are in the pattern. How do we do that? That's the next letter. Okay. So our next letter is technically N plus 1. Sorry. This is life. I gotta answer these. If I don't answer these, they're important combos to have. I gotta have them while I can have them. Well, I would think events like this is working towards our goal. it's also, the thing the thing I look forward to the most is peace. Let me just state that. Look forward to peace. And looking forward to peace can mean a lot of things, but I just look forward to being at rest finally. But as Kobe said, rest at the end, not in the middle. I might take 3 days off. I might just take 3 days off work, cause damn, I am exhausted and I ate too much food. Ate too much food. Anyway, that wasn't weird at all. We only want to enter this loop if this well let's slow down here, right? So let's just say we're tracking each letter, right? We get to B. So while B is in the pattern and our current pointer in the in the pattern is less than length, right? We want to walk that path until when? Until letters either not in the pattern or P. We've exhausted all the options we've exhausted all the options from the pattern, and therefore we have our our permutation, or we have our permutation in the string. So I'd say, okay, then we'd update letter, right, the current letter, to be, our, our string, and then let, +1. I'll put brackets for indexing. So our next letter is the next one, right? I'll update it, and we'll say, P plus equals 1. And we'll always do a check to see generally P will manage itself, right? And if we ever get out the pattern, so if P, okay, let's walk that though. So let's say, okay, so we have B is in there, B then gets C, then C gets A. So P goes from 0 with the B to then 1 to C with 2, right? And then A is in there, so it gets 3. We hit all 3. 3, no, wait, what? Yeah, 0, and then 0, and then with B we upgrade let to equal C, and this equals 1. And then we upgrade let to equal A, and then this equals 2. So I think we have to target sometimes. I don't know. Dude, it's 4 o'clock. I'm working. What's we doing? So now P's at 2. Okay, I need to track what the exact order is. Hold on. So our pointer starts at 0, and our current letter is pointing at B. That's cur. So cur is in it, and 0 is less than 3. Cool. We update cur to be C. We update P to point at 1. Cool. That means C is in it, and P is still less than 3. Okay. So we update our let, and we update this. Okay, cool. Then A is in, and so then A then gets F, and then P now gets 3. Now in this case, both are false, right? But if P equal length of pattern, return true. We already know that's going to be the case. I guess else P gets its own, P gets 0 again. P will get reset, I guess. Does that work? Is that legit? Is that legit? Is that legit? Is that legit? Or I'll run it again. Let's walk it again and see if we have this down. All right, we're looking through our list. Our current letter O is not in the pattern. I is not in the pattern. D is not in the pattern. B is in the pattern, and 0 less than 3. Cool, we're in here. Upgrade letter to get the next one. Cool, C is in there. That's and P is equal to wait. Yeah, so B gets us in. Then P is updated after B becomes C, and P becomes 1, or when it becomes 1. Then we get to A. After the C comes 2. A goes in, A goes to F, and P goes to 3. Okay? What's interesting here is that A gets the next letter, but if there is no next letter, I don't want to hit a index out of bounds. I might even say while let plus 1. Is that a thing I can do? That's fine, yeah. What I should say is, I'm pretty sure in a while loop, if you try to access the next thing, it will return index out of bounds anyway. So there's like a couple conditions, right? there's a couple conditions. So we don't actually have to track if there is no scenario where P where I'm trying to say something that I don't know how to say. We don't have to actually track P. We don't have to check it in the while. We can just say, okay, while, let plus 1, while our end plus 1 is, while our end plus 1 not none, or, while that's a valid thing to pull, right? I feel like that's not gonna work. Well, then we could just add, while the current letter's in the pattern, and not, and what, and I should say end, not n plus 1. Frick, how would I do this? I'm trying to avoid the index out of bounds error. I'm not even updating the actual character. Am I? I mean, I could just pull the index down, right? I can say I equals end. Yeah, right? I can just do that. Is that legal? Can I do that? I can just say I can just say, well, S at I. And we just increment I. I still want to keep track of the letter itself, but we can just say, okay, the letter gets, I guess, S at I. We'd have to first do an I plus plus kind of deal, then do a P plus equals 1 kind of deal too. So we'd say while the letter in pattern, so one or the other can be true, right? While the letter's in the pattern, yeah, I mean, is tracking that we're not at the end of the array valid? I want to check if I plus 1 is valid, right? I really want to check if I plus 1 remains, I guess, less than the length of our string. So that way we know we stay in bounds. Okay, let's run it again. So we have P pointing to 0. We have a new I counter for our while loop. And then we're going to increment I as we go along. So we have our end variable tracking our initial touch on our initial iteration, right? We're checking O. O is not in the pattern. Forget about it. Checking I is I in the pattern. Forget about it. D in the pattern. Forget about it. B is in the pattern. And I plus 1, which is index 5, is less than the length of this. This is an 8. What? This is an 8? No, this is a 7. 0, 1, 2, 3. This is a 7 character length string. Okay. So I, in this case, gets the end. And we're saying that, okay, B, so S at I, S at 3 is B, which is in the pattern. And 4 is less than 7. Cool. 4 is less than 7. Sweet. We increment I. So now I, within the context of the while loop, now points to 4. So it was B. Now it's C. C is in. 4 plus 1 is 5, less than 7. Therefore, we keep going. We increment I. I now points to 5, which is now A. So S at 5 is A. So here's the funny part. This in pattern thing is cool because technically, yes, as we move through, I'm getting more stuff to look at. My phone, I know, I should stop doing that. It's a bad habit. So I being in the pattern is not good enough. Our test case here doesn't really track that, but anyway. So I is 5. Great. So we come out of the loop and then check P. P did not get incremented either. P got incremented. So P ended up being 1, 2, and then I think 3 at the end with A. So P got put to 3, which means we're done. And therefore we return true. Technically speaking, we could circumvent that last check if we put the check in the while loop. We could maybe catch the end of our loop without ever having to check for like a length I thing, right? Am I crazy for that? I mean, let's say we took it away. Let's say we erase this. Right? Forget that we're checking for I length of I. Right? What would you do? Well, we start with B. P points to 0. Right? If this was actually like within this, we'd say what? We'd say, okay. We'd say check B. Is B in? Yes. Increment everything. Is C in? Yes. Okay. Is A in? Yes. 3. We exit. Otherwise, return false, right? If we never get into this loop and we don't exit properly, return false. Because there could be many almost there instances, but until P is equal to the length, we're not going to get past it. Let's try a different example, see if we get past it. Okay, so we do have to keep track of S of I because, well, no, we don't have to use letter here. Right, we can just say add 1 and then be P plus equals 1, 2. Out of water. Let me check my work laptop real quick. Nothing new. No new emails, no anything. Okay. Pretty sure I can shut down for the day. So I will do that. Oh, let's try an example. See if our code works. I said I would give myself 45 minutes or 40 minutes, right? I didn't even time myself. I'm literally just here, like, doing this. Crazy, right? Just crazy. Just nuts. So we have O, D, I, C, F. Pattern is DC. Let's write our algorithm, right? So our P points to 0, our I points to the end. Okay. I mean, we could just use, I think we could just use end, but whatever. Anyway, so is O in the pattern? No. Is D in the pattern? Yes. Increment pointer to be 1. Now we're checking, is I in the pattern? No. Well, before we even did that, P was not equal to 2. Right, the length of DC, the pattern. So forget that. We pop back out, and our loop is not done yet. So we hit C. Oh, C's in there. But then 0, P gets back to P, put back to 0. So C is in there. So P goes up 1. Okay. Now, we didn't even look at a pattern where there's like multiple A's, like multiple B's. About to complicate this a little bit more, I think. But we'll let the tests should tell us how to complicate our code, correct? So these never get hit, which means that this returns false. Let's code this up and see how it fares against other things, right? So we have some, I'll say in range, length of S, right? So we have some P pointer, 0. I'll even make it better. I'll say pattern. So we'll say pattern pointer. I gets end each iteration. So while S at I in pattern I'll say I plus equals 1, and we get P pattern plus equals 1. True. For these two examples, I think this should work. So with these two examples, my code works. If we add another example, let's see how it breaks. Right? Okay, I don't think this will work. If it does, I'll be very surprised. Wait, what? What do you mean? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Willis? Why didn't it fail? I want to see this myself. Are you serious? Oh, but the test doesn't run the print statement. That's stupid. What? Huh? What do you mean? What do you? I gotta break it somehow. There's no way. I don't like this at all. Such a noise. I just heard a freaking noise. So BCA, that's what it caught each time. So it found D and it found C. Let's print P2. Ooh. What? I thought I needed another thing. C and D together, but oh. Yeah, DC works fine. That's crazy. What about this one? That should be, that's true? Oh, because they switched to X and the Y. 8. Length of 9. Oh, oops. Well, it's printed at the end. Oh, we don't even access it after. The while loop literally just like checks it. This is worst case an end length solution. What? You tell me this actually works? Unless I'm testing this wrong, I can't imagine how I just like did that. That is so weird to me that I just got it on the first try. What? Okay, what's the solution to this one? What did they do? They used the hashtag to remember. What? Yo, I didn't do any of that. Is my solution bad, or I don't understand? How the frick is it running all of this? True, false, true, true. True, false, true, true. And everything's fine. I can't. So coming up with another algorithm is perfectly fine. My question is it efficient, memory-wise and time-wise? That's my only concern. All right. How is this returning true? Am I not running these tests? No, I mean, I added more tests and they seem to be running. I don't understand how this is possible. I don't get it. All right, so sliding window similar to longest substring with cases and characters. We have a hash map to remember the frequencies of all characters in the given pattern. Our goal will be to match all the characters from the hash map to a sliding window in the given pattern. Oh. So I think I kind of know why my solution's busted. I think with enough tests, we might actually figure out why. So, for example, I'm trying to come up with a test that would fail my code. Like, if we had multiple of each character, right now we're just saying if it was in there at all. So let's say there's like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how that. So let's say there's all A's in the pattern. We're looking for 7 A's, but there's only 6, right? Well, no, because P is not, right? And then the pattern is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I expect this to be false. Okay. Came back true. Okay. Now, why did I expect this to be? Because we were not done with the pattern, right? Yet, the next character in our array was in it. But what exactly happened? Index out of bounds. On what line? S and pattern, yeah. So for example, our pattern was a lot longer than, our pattern was 1 character longer than the actual string. Okay? There is no permanent, it's all A's. So there should just be, oh. It doesn't make sense to have a pattern longer than, there's no way this is a dumb test. That's a stupid test. Stupid test, but good to understand the problem, right? There's no way you could ever have a pattern longer than the list of characters itself. But maybe you want like the correct amount of A's, right? Or like I'm trying to figure out like the amount of a character matters. You know what I mean? But any better examples? They give me examples that were trash. They don't test my code at all. They literally give me all. Oh, something I messed up. Where? There we go. It's so weird. I gotta come back to this. Complexity, n. My storage is constant time. N plus m. Oh, because the inner loop could run however long. They have an inner loop in here? They put the frequency character. They do that loop. Isn't n plus m just the same thing as... Oh, I guess. Now, I'm not done with this. No, my solution is what? N for this length for each one in the pattern. So I'm saying if the next character we're looking at is in the pattern, so how could this fail? Oh, okay, I got you. Okay. I got you. So if the pattern is B, B, and B, well, no, we keep incrementing. Frick. No, let's go with the... Right? I'm like, well, let's go with B. C is not in the pattern. B's in the pattern, B's in the pattern. If it's not in the pattern, we don't even care to look at it. Does that make sense? We don't even care to look at it. So what if the pattern is like B, A, F? This will return false. Okay, it returned true. So why did it return true? Because B is in the pattern, A is in the pattern, A is in the pattern, A is in the pattern, F's in the pattern. True. And at some point, because we... Oh, okay, yeah. There we go. That's it. That's literally it. So tomorrow I have to fix this problem. I don't have time right now. I need to look around and like be free of this for a bit. But yeah, makes sense. I gotta fix this. Bye.